Hello, sixth grade. Hope all is well and having a good time at home and helping out with brothers and sisters and mom and dad, and hopefully all having a good time. And make sure you're still getting outside too and getting some fresh air and being able to run around a little bit, so it's not so crazy in the house at all times. But we're gonna get started with some more lessons. We're gonna do one lesson that is a review now. Just to still touch base on what we've already talked about, make sure we're not losing those skills. And then we're also going to introduce a new lesson that we have not talked about, and we'll kind of get started, okay? So this is lesson 74. This is the old one. This is a review. We're still going to do this lesson again because I think doing it a second time will just make us that much better, even for the rest of this year and obviously the following math career. So lesson 74 is writing fractions as decimal numbers and writing ratios as decimal numbers. Well, a ratio is just a fraction, right? So really it's just writing fractions as decimal numbers, okay? And when you go and you look at example 1, example 2, 3, and 4, all you're going to end up doing is dividing them, okay? So we'll do a couple of these. Example 1, it says convert 1 1/4, or sorry, not 1 1/4. It just says convert 1/4 to a decimal number. Well, here's your fraction, 1/4. It's just like it says, 1 divided by 4. So 1 divided by 4. And remember, whenever you have a big number on the outside of the box, you go decimal, decimal, 0. You add that in. So you put a decimal after the 1. You put a decimal right above it, and then you add a 0, and you start dividing. Now, how many times does 4 go into 10? It goes in twice, and there's 2 left over. Whenever you run out of numbers, you always add a 0 and bring it down. 4 into 20 is 5 times. So take that decimal right there, and that's what the decimal is for 1/4. It's 0.25. Okay, so what did we do? All we did was we divided it. I'm not going to do example 2 because that wants you to use a calculator, and I'm sure you can just do that at home. It says, hey, use a calculator to convert 15/16 to a decimal. Well, just as it says, 15 over 16 is 15 divided by 16. Okay, and your final answer should be 0.9375. 0.9375. Okay. This next one, example 3, says write 7 2/3 as a decimal. So we will do that. So we know this is a mixed number because it's a whole number 7 wrote with, did I say 2/3? I think it might be 2/5. It is. It's 2/5. I apologize. So you're going to write 7 2/5. Now, here's what you're going to do to write this as a decimal number. When you have a mixed number, only divide the fraction, okay? If I cover the fraction up, or if I just get rid of it for a second, okay, I'll just get rid of it. You have 7 whole numbers here, right? That's what the number 7 signifies, okay? Now, if they were to write the fraction next to it, 2/5, you have a little bit more than 7. You just don't have another whole number to get to the number 8. Okay, so they write the fraction next to it as 2/5. So when you go to write this as a decimal, you know your answer is going to say 7 point blah, blah, blah. We don't know yet. Okay, we will know when we divide the 2/5. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So 2 divided by 5. 2's in the box. 5's on the outside. Remember, when you have a big number on the outside, it automatically goes decimal, decimal, 0. Okay? How many 5's go into 20? 4, and it goes in evenly for an answer of 0.4. Now, just as I said before, you're automatically going to have the number 7 in the answer, and you don't need to write another decimal. So 7.4 for your final answer. Okay? Okay, and then the last one we'll do example 4. And it's kind of a word problem. And it says, a number cube is rolled once. Well, remember, a number cube is just a dice, right? It's a 3D box, square, okay, called a cube. It's rolled once, it says. Express the probability of rolling an even number as a decimal. Well, we need to, how many numbers are on a dice? Right, it'd be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'll just list those out, okay? 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, how many even numbers are there? Well, there is 2, 4, and 6. So it looks like there's 3 even numbers out of how many total? Well, 6. So your fraction would be 3 over 6. Again, how do you get that to a decimal? You just divide what it says. So we're going to do 3 divided by 6. Remember, when the bigger number is on the outside, you go decimal, decimal, 0. How many times does 6 go into 30? 5 times. And there is nothing left in that 30. So your final answer, wants you to express it as a decimal, is 0.5. Okay? Like I said, this lesson is a review from, we've done this. I just want to make sure we're going to do it again the second time. And it should start making way more sense than it even did the first time. And you'll be able to carry this on, throughout the rest of the math this year and next year and the following and all that good stuff. Okay? So, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a good rest of the day.